Carol, I think you were talking about Pretty Lady. You're talking about the role that like a third party candidate played in 2016 and how that was detrimental. Let's take a moment here and see what's going on.
Do you want to talk about old brainworms?
Oh God!
How'd you know? Let's see what he was up to.
We have to.
Let's see what he was up to over the course of the past week upon the announcement that Harris would be running in Biden's stead. That was RFK Jr. with the Hawk to a girl.
That was the Hawk to a girl.
That was the Hawk to a girl. Yeah, Kamala's out here.
I just thought it was just a cute little blonde girl, and I thought, why does he keep hugging her?
Why are they?
You know how he gets down. Cheryl,
where is he?
I don't even remember that was, but obviously Harris is out here with superstars like Megan Thee Stallion. RFK Jr. is out here with the Hawk to a girl. So he's really got his campaign up and running.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't she know that these guys hate blowjobs? That's why they keep mocking women who perform them.
I don't know. Like, I'm particularly fond of them. But, given the Republicans are out here on a tear ranting against childless women, one of the easiest ways to avoid having children while still engaging in sexual activity is the good old.
Anyway, I'm just saying they spend a lot of time shaming women for guys who would like to receive blowjobs.
They really do.
Yeah, I ain't never shamed.
The message is clear. Guys who shame don't want any, so don't.
Nah, I'm all of you women out there listening to this podcast. If that's how you get down, I rock with you. I support that wholeheartedly. However many you need to take down to feel satisfied in that regard.
Yes. Do you like blowjobs? That's good.
Hey, women can like blowjobs too, and I return the favor.
Sure.
Huh.
Okay. And these single ladies.
So back to the Trump campaign. Now that the media stopped obsessing over Biden's age, they actually have to cover like the candidates and the campaign that they're running, and it appears as though it seems as though the media has discovered the fact that it's their biggest issue. Well, apart from that, their other biggest issue that we've all been aware of for years at this point is that the Republican Party is full of fucking.
Just in the past few days, Democrats have kind of organically settled on a new attack line against Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Basically, these guys are just plain weird.
There's something wrong with people when they talk about freedom to be in your bedroom, freedom to be in your exam room, freedom to tell your kids what they can read. That stuff is weird. They come across weird. They seem obsessed with this.
We're using this fake living room to talk to you about a super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's quite weird.
But what was weird was him joking about racism today and then talking about Diet Mountain Dew. Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew?
On the other side, they're just weird. They really are.
Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
Yeah, they're having a rough time with it. And Republicans are.
Even Joe Manchin was down. Even Manchin was in on it, or he just thinks J.D. Vance is weird.
Oh yeah, like never did I imagine ever that Joe Manchin would stay on message. That is an incredible development. The whole Diet Mountain Dew thing, that was extraordinarily strange, where J.D. Vance was saying, I'm drinking I had a Diet Mountain Dew earlier.
I don't see how people haven't talked about him using hot dogs as dildos. I don't know. Someone said that was on page 21 of his book. I have not personally read it.
Haven't read his book either.
He said that he got drunk and he woke up with one of those M&M mini containers halfway up his ass. And he doesn't know how it got there, but it wasn't as comfortable as the hot dogs they usually use.
Just like with blowjobs, I'm in support of people enjoying their sexual proclivities in
I need
whichever
to-
fashion they choose.
I
I'm not
think you
gonna
should
buy
do
the
it in a
book.
safe manner that doesn't risk getting pieces of hot dogs stuck in your butt. I mean, there are worse
I don't
things, I
wanna buy the
guess.
book, but I do have
M&Ms.
I do have some Audible credit. I got like 20 Audible credits because I always forget, and then the next thing I know
Don't-
it goes
yeah,
every month.
mine too.
I feel like I need to read page 21 for real and see for myself because
Maybe.
Yeah, I bet
feel like
it's
I
not
talk about
true,
it.
but
I would just say, like, if you're going to eat a hot dog, it's got to come out the other end one way or the other. So he just took the more expedient route of sticking
if you're
it.
gonna eat it,
if you're gonna eat a
okay,
hot dog,
that
you might
hot
as well
dog,
put
they
it in
can
your
really go
ass.
both ways with
You
that.
probably shouldn't put it in your ass before you eat it, just for
But
sanitation.
do you
Not-
think you absorb nutrition
not
or become?
flaccid anyway. It should probably be frozen.
All right, we're done with that part of the conversation. So I don't know who got the viral meme started of JD Vance fucking furniture, but the fact that like you heard that and no one doubted its veracity says a lot about his viability as a candidate.
And the dolphin thing.
Well, that he did on his own. I don't know why he was looking up dolphin sex, but apparently he was questioning it and just in posting about it on the internet. Again, like one of those things where if he was properly vetted, people would have seen this shit and be like, hell no, we ain't picking this dude. But here they are.
So that was a self-owned, the dolphin thing.
Yeah, he did that to himself.
That was a self. Wow.
Yeah. And then, you know, his Silicon Valley days, as an investor, he was investing in this company that was like burning monkey testicles, just a bunch of strange.
Oh God, I saw that.
Just a bunch of strange, like, and that's the issue again that I was talking about with Tony Michaels the other day. It's like there's so much weird shit in the party. If the media could actually just like do their fucking jobs and report on it and hone in on how strange all this shit is, it would be over for the Trump campaign. And if this weird shit sticks, it's a wrap. It is over.
The amount of weird shit. It's not like, oh my God, like a one-off or a two-off. It's like they all are weird. And there's so much weird stuff, like all the time weird stuff.
Yeah,
that
like
has been going on.
Like Rudy Giuliani with Borat's assistant. It was just some creepy shit, man. You know, we've got the bitches for bigotry. The where
and all the threesome.
Yeah, they're out there MILF hunting and shit. Just so much extraordinarily weird stuff. All the creepy, you know, pedophiles that are posing in pictures with Trump, who eventually get brought up on charges. I mean, it's endless weird shit. We got those videos of Trump with Epstein, so extraordinarily strange. All the weird shit he does with his daughter. That picture of him handing his kids off to Epstein to play. Just endless.
And did you see and of course I don't know if it was American Muckrakers though. I was trying to see if it was real or not, the email between Epstein and the Kung Fu email or the judo, whatever, if him and Ghislaine met up for judo or their Kung Fu.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I don't know. Obviously, Trump's not going to no fucking judo class, so that's probably like code for.
No, well, that was Elon. Well, I don't think he's really going to no judo class either, but.
You know what? I take that back. You're right. I'm sorry. Elon.
But still, I'm like.
Yeah.
With the little smiley face.
Why are you like in such a comfortable relationship with a group of pedophiles? It's extraordinarily strange. And look, Elon's been weird for a long time. Like, obviously, you know, a decade ago, while he was a public figure, like, he wasn't vocal in this regard. I knew the minute I knew something was up is when those kids got trapped in that cave in Europe and he was calling the engineers pedophiles. And I was like, that's some weird right wing shit. No one, like, why are you? And then he just, you know, has consistently gone further into the right wing rabbit hole, and he's clearly out there for Trump.
Well, he's also just an edgelord and who needs to be lauded with, you know, he's
and the center of attention,
constant appreciation. So the people who found his stupid, you know, pushing the envelope stuff to be enticing were the right wing idiots. They were like, oh, he called them pedophiles. That's hilarious.
Yep, he's 8chan. If it came to life and made billions of dollars. So
Yes.
let's move on to what the Trump campaign is promising for its voters in the future, what a second Trump administration would be like. Basically, the Trump campaign platform at this point.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Yeah. So,
Put him at anything.
Ty, you got to unmute your mic.
Yeah, Ty's muted, so I will talk. Ha ha.
Yeah, there we go. Huzzah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
He says what he means, and that's what he.
It was but the way he was addressing them was weird. Okay. Hello, my Christians. I love my Christians. My Christians. It was like my African Americans over there. Basically, his Christians are his name.
Yeah. Well, it was really weird because that was at like a cryptocurrency conference here in Tennessee.
No, that was the turning point.
Oh, that was turning
the
point?
Bitcoin conference. That was some other weird shit.
My bad. Okay.
Where he said that he was going to take Bitcoin and he was going to stockpile it.
That's right. No, so what was weird about that video, apart from him just like trying to rally up the Christian base, I guess, was first of all that part where he said, "I'm not a Christian."
Yeah.
He really,
I love you, Chris. I'm not a Christian.
If you let him freestyle, he really does tell you his exact thoughts.
He tells on himself all the freaking time.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't care as long as you do stuff,
Whether you're
unfortunately saw his Ingram interview where she gave him like 10 chances to backtrack, and he just talked and talked and hardly backtracked.
Like,
but he's just like, I just meant Christians. Christians don't vote. They don't vote. I'm like, what? That's the dumbest.
Yeah, we did bury the lead there. He said, if you vote for him in 2024, you'll never have to vote again, basically. And a lot of people on social media and the media in general are trying to spin that in terms of, well, he meant this and he meant that. No, he meant exactly what he fucking said.
Why don't you want a candidate who can express themselves properly? Communication is a huge part of the job.
How I know that's BS is how many times has he said, you don't even have to vote. He has said that multiple times at rallies, and he's told them to just stay home, that they don't have to worry about voting. And that's something
we don't need the votes. We've got all the votes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
we got all the votes we need in Russia.
Now, look, obviously we saw how they tried to cheat after the 2020 election where they lost, and that culminated in an attack on the Capitol where they tried to present fake electors' certificates as legitimate. And obviously, like when that plan failed, I'm sure plan B was to plot on how to steal the 2024 election. And I'm sure they got something in the works. Who knows what it is? But from what I understand, currently one of the plans is, so generally in order for a state to certify its election, you have to have all of the precincts certify their individual vote tallies. And there are a lot of Republican operatives that are in charge of some of these precincts. And if they refuse to certify the vote tallies in their precinct, that could potentially keep states from certifying their election as a whole. And if you get enough swing states on board with that, where no one gets to 270 in terms of the Electoral College, then the election, from what I understand, will likely go to the House of Representatives. And Republicans currently have a majority. So it could be touch and go in November.
But let's vote as hard as we can, because the congressional term starts January 5th. And the
definitely
the certification is the 6th.
Yeah, the plan definitely has to be vote in such overwhelming numbers that we take over the House, regardless of what happens in some of these states with Republican operatives at work, so that regardless of whatever kind of obstacle they throw in the path to certifying the election, we still get that done. And obviously Kamala Harris is the vice president. And much like they had a plot for Mike Pence to sign off on some fake electors, I don't think Kamala Harris is going to sign off on a fraudulent election. So at least we have that. But just keep that in mind, that it's more important than ever for you to get as many people as possible to vote. And, you know, obviously I was just like near 100% participation in America if possible. I know that's unrealistic. But if that were the case and Republicans still somehow won, I mean, while it would doom our country, at least I would know that, you know, we gave it our best shot. Also, more from the Trump campaign platform. It just it somehow it just only gets worse from there.
That we're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job.
Yeah, Trump's going to create his own brown shirts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't need immunity to do my job.
Well, look, there's a lot of right-wing nut jobs in law enforcement, white supremacists, neo-Nazis and such all over the country. And I can only imagine what they would do with practically unlimited immunity to do whatever they want. I mean, we just saw the horrific shooting of Sonia Harris.
Pretty much what they did when they had it before.
Sonia Massey, I apologize for getting that name wrong. Harris is on my mind. If you haven't noticed, been thinking about her every day this week. That's my baby. Not pretty much what they did before. It's going to be a lot worse. At this point, at least there's the potential of consequences for extreme, outrageous behavior on behalf of local police departments. I mean, obviously, they probably get away with more than we could ever imagine. But in this regard, if the police are basically given unlimited immunity to act however they see fit while they're on the clock, there are a lot of people who will sign up to basically do Trump's version of the purge.
No, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And look, I don't want to live in the fucking purge. It's difficult enough watching that shit as a movie. I don't want to live it.
I couldn't watch it. I don't know. It was just too much. I've never seen. Just watching the trailers was enough for me.
And so to prevent this, we want all our listeners to tweet out what they plan to do when they're going to donate or volunteer for the Harris campaign. And the 5 best tweets, Dee will retweet them.
KamalaHarris.com if you want to sign up. I appreciate that. Yeah, KamalaHarris.com if you want to sign up to volunteer for the campaign. Obviously, not everyone is able to provide support for Kamala Harris financially, and we understand that. But you can provide your time and your energy and your effort and your knowledge and your relationships in the community, all that good stuff. Go do that. So apart from Trump's age, he's also an insane person. I think we've all known that for a while if you're listening to this. But
I feel like that should trump everything. I don't know. To me, that should be just the deal breaker for.
Okay, I'm doing
America trumps Trump. Ooh, that should be a.
America trumps Trump.
I'm doing that thing that the media does, where they talk about the most insane developments on planet Earth in like a monotone voice, as though it's normal. It's extraordinarily not normal. And here's a clip of how extraordinarily insane it actually is.
We're okay, but. You know, I have 50,000 people. Elvis didn't have 50, and he had a guitar. I had no guitar. I didn't have the use, right? Elvis had a guitar. He had a lot. We love Elvis, right? But he had a guitar. I don't have a guitar. So would have like.
What the fuck?
This man sounds so far gone, and he sounds like really fucking high. I'm only a little bit fucking high, and I'm like, I can tell somebody's very fucking high.
Up, and they're just talking about random shit a mile a minute because they can't shut up, and it just goes into from one.
Okay, Uncle Don. Okay. Oh yeah, Uncle Don. Okay. Oh, Hannibal Lecter. Yes. Okay, great.
Sharks and electrocution, baby. Yeah. So I watched a number of his rallies. I don't get to watch them all, I don't always get to watch them all in their entirety because they're usually over an hour long. but usually, 15, 20 minutes in, he just starts to ramble about crazy shit just like that, but at every single rally. And he's been holding rallies for 2 years now. You can only imagine how much nonsense he's filled my brain with at this point. But yeah, they're all that bad. And now, again, because the media doesn't have Biden's age to obsess over like Hillary's emails, they're going to have to start covering some of the crazy shit he says. In this whole thing, where the Democratic Party was, nearly thrown into turmoil, it did bring a lot of attention publicly onto the election. I'm sure the media's ratings have gone up. But if they start covering all of this weird, insane shit on the right, and that's put in people's faces, again, just like the weirdo angle, like the insanity angle, it's going to be difficult for them to overcome. And then Trump, he can't stick to a script anymore. Like his self-control at this point is totally out the window. Like it's taking him like all the power that he possesses just to not say the N-word when talking about Kamala Harris.
Stuck on a loop. It's like somebody pulled the string out of his back and it got stuck on one of them dolls because it's just a loop of Hannibal Lecter, sharks, electrocution,
electricity. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and water. He'll throw in water every now and then. That dishwashers with no water and Democrats don't want water.
Well, that was one of the things at the crypto thing where he's like, I'm going to give you all the electricity. It's more they're like, no more electricity. It's too
There's
much.
There's going to be so much electricity.
Like what?
It's like, what?
It's beyond insane. I hope the media finally gets the message that it's time for them to do their jobs. And look, we don't need them out here rooting for Kamala Harris, but they just need to be honest and tell the truth and show what is actually happening on both sides of the aisle at this point. And again,
I mean, they don't have to say anything. Play a clip. Oh, Kamala and Trump were both in blah, blah, blah last night, Oklahoma. And this is a clip from Kamala. This is a clip from Trump. And then just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
That's it.
One of the things that was holding us back is that no matter what we do on social media, the media just refused to cover it at some point. But because now they don't have a narrative to follow, they kind of have to just do reporting. Like social media is actually having an influence on legacy media. They're picking up the support.
They picked up weird.
They're picking up the support for Harris. They picked up on the weirdo angle. Like they're covering the money.
Don't you forget it, MSNBC.
Yeah, they're talking about the whole change in vibes. Like, and while it's important that we actually shift the vibes on the ground, that the media coverage is reflecting that, will just create a feedback loop at this point. I just hope they don't find something, the one thing Kamala Harris does wrong in their eyes to harp on until the election. Because if they do that, they'll stick with it if possible. But so in terms of our closing thoughts, just, Carol, tell us how you're feeling after a week of the Harris campaign at this point.
I'm feeling good. Well, yes, I'm glad I no longer have to convince everybody that it's going to be okay. No, I think it's going to be okay. I'm still really encouraged by all the enthusiasm, and I hope these people who are enthusiastic now are really going to get out there and volunteer and get other people to vote, because that's at the end of the day how you win an election, not by being calling everyone weird, which is great. They are helping. They are winning in the court of public opinion by keeping the Trump's team on the defensive.
I know what you meant.
They have to spend all their time telling everyone why they're not crazy, having to disown their own agenda, thinking people will fall for that. It's going better for us than it has been in a while. And yeah, tweet us about what you're going to do for Kamala's campaign, and we will retweet you and say that you're great. Unless it's a bad thing that you're going to do, and then we'll say that you're not great.
All right, Ty, how you feeling? Week in the Harris campaign, baby.
I am very much enthusiastic. I know that we're going to have the votes. I am just concerned about the shenanigans that are going on because I know that they're desperate and a cornered animal that they're just, and that's how I feel like they are. They know that they are going to lose and they are going to do, and we know what they're capable of.
Yeah, we've seen it.
And that's the thing. That's the scary part, is because we know what they're capable of. And we know that many of them are in a position to, like the Ken Paxtons out there. It's the Ken Paxtons that freaking worry me right now, because I know that they're not above being dirty. And right now they're in the muck. And that's what I'm concerned about. Laura Trump going on TV and calling for 100,000 people that they need to strike. They need to head out to voting polling places, and they need to break shit. And freaking finding out about this app with this 500,000 people on it that they are targeting for challenging their right to vote. The Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, and their targeting of kicking 1 million people off of the rolls. Those are the things that I think that we also need to highlight. I don't want people to be so full of warm and fuzzies that they forget what Republicans are capable of and what they are in the process of doing. They need to be aware of that as well, so that they know to check their roles. Because did you know that they have that in Florida, where you can just deregister anybody to vote? And all you need is to go on the website. You don't need an ID. You just need a name, not even an address, or a county. And then like the last, so if you have somebody's information, they're always hacking stuff, and they can just go. And then they kept trying to get information, and they're like, oh, we'll send something in the mail. Well, we all know who's in charge of the mail right now. And if you get it after, it's too late for you to re-register if it's past the registration deadline. So it's that kind of dirty pool that they're going to be paying. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I do need people to stay vigilant and to pay attention what's going on in your state, what the Secretary of State is doing, what the Board of Education is, Board of you know what I mean? What is it? Board of what does they call it? The Board of Elections. That's it. Board of Elections. I just kept thinking BOE, but you need to pay attention, whoever it is that's in charge of in your particular state, because every state's a little bit different. Some it's, might be Secretary of State, something like, so pay attention, especially even if you're in a blue state, pay attention to what is going on. So that will just be my warning. My closing thought is to keep your eyes open for the fuckery, because it's going on around you right now. And like I said, don't be all you're warm and fuzzy seeing how much Madam Vice President is raising and how many people are enthusiastic and happy about her, but pay attention.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and re-register to vote. It can't hurt. Like I do it before every election now. Just in case, because I live in a red state and they're always up to some fucking shenanigans, and I think we have some kind of rule here where if you don't vote in X amount of elections, they automatically remove you from the registration. So just go ahead, hit that button online in your state, whatever that website is, re-register, make sure your information is correct, make sure your address is correct. Also, one of the things that's been extraordinarily positive and gives me a lot of hope for a potential positive outcome in November is just the amount of new voter registration. I think, over the past week, it's been some insane, 6-digit number. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but if we've got a lot of people who hadn't voted previously that are excited about voting now, and that's come with the news of Biden dropping out and Harris taking the mantle, so to speak, we've got a good shot. And also just keep an eye out. I don't know what your favorite social media platform is, but for us, it's typically Twitter. I know it's got a supposedly new name. We'll never call it that shit. It's Twitter till we die, baby. But yeah, Elon Musk, he's in Trump's pocket. I know he promised to donate all that money to the Trump campaign, but reneged on that. But obviously, he's going to try and use that platform to influence the election in favor of Trump in whatever ways he can, in whatever way he can. And we've already seen that with numerous suspensions of left-leaning accounts and promoting right-wingers. And I think, there was a post about the Twitter API where he's basically given a number of right-leaning accounts immunity to violate Twitter rules to any degree whatsoever without any possibility of, no possibility of being suspended or banned. Just keep in mind, he's going to try and use that thing to taint the election, and you got to be ready for that. And if you do enjoy Twitter the same way we do, you might want to start working on building up accounts on other platforms and making relationships there just to get ready for November. Threads is an option in the same vein as Twitter, but also my guy Christopher Boozy owns Spoutable. That is definitely the safest possible place for you to go because he's not intent on letting anyone engage in bad behavior over there. And also be aware of the bots. We had that issue where it seems as though Russia didn't pay their chat GPT bill and all the bots started malfunctioning. It's going to take them a few weeks to get it together, but they're coming. Be ready for that and be ready for all the ops because they're coming. But we can do this. We can make this happen. We're on the path to having the first black woman as president of the United States. But we need you guys to get out there and vote to make sure it happens. That concludes this episode of Part of the Insurrection.